Hi guys, thank you for watching The Royal We. My name is Kevin, and a couple weeks ago I made a video talking about the strong feelings of attachment that you have with an abusive narcissist. And I made the case that it's not love. It's not love that causes you to keep going back into the relationship. It's actually feelings like guilt and shame. And in the video I talk about the 3 typical ways that you try to resolve the guilt and the shame. But in this video, I want to talk about another way that I left out. There's a 4th way, and it's justification. So we're going to talk about that. All right guys, before we get into this video, I do have a couple of announcements for you. First of all, I have a course that is ready and available. It's in the description box below, so simply drop down the description box. You'll find the link to the course. Click on that link and it will take you to the course page. There you can find out about the Royal We course. I hope to see you there, and I hope to be able to work with you one-on-one through the Royal We course. Secondly, I do have an Instagram, so you guys can find me on Instagram at Join the Royal We. It's a great community. We share a lot of memes and a lot of posts and a lot of little brief videos. So find me on Instagram at Join the Royal We. Now guys, let's get into this video. As I said, this is a follow-up video to a video I made a couple weeks ago where I was talking about how you're not in love with the narcissist. It's not love. That's not the feeling you have towards the narcissist. I know you think it is, but it's not. Why is it not love? Well, because there's nothing to love about the narcissist. They use you, they abuse you, steal from you, lie about you, cuss you out, criticize you, call you names, leave you, come back to you, cheat on you. There's nothing to love about that. You are not in love. Yet, there's something that's keeping you attached. Well, what is that? What are those strong feelings that are keeping you attached? I made the case that it is guilt and shame. And when guilt and shame in your life goes unchecked, it can cause you to do some pretty crazy things, guys. In that video, I talked about the 3 typical ways in which we try to resolve this guilt and this shame. There's 3 typical ways. One is to try to ignore the guilt and shame, pretend like it's not even there. In all honesty, pretending you have no guilt and shame in life is actually living the lifestyle of an abusive narcissist. And then the second way we typically try to resolve it is to try to continue to do good things, to do better, to invest in the relationship more. Oftentimes you throw yourself into the relationship even further compromising yourself. But all we're doing is feeding into the toxic relationship. We're giving ourselves more and actually producing more guilt and shame. Why? Because once again, we're still stuck in a relationship. You're still stuck in that relationship you have no business being in. You've got to get out, right? Then the 3rd typical way is actually the best way, and that is to face the guilt and the shame, and I talked about that. Now, I'm not going to get into those 3 and how to do it. I talk about that in the last video, so if you want to find out more details about the 3 typical ways to resolve the guilt and shame in your life, check out the other video. There's a link right there, right? You can check that out there. Okay, so in this video, there's a 4th way in which we try to resolve, or you can try to resolve guilt and shame. And I left this out of the last video, but it's an important one, guys. And that is justification. Justification is a big one, guys. How many of you try to justify being involved with an abusive, toxic individual that you have no business being with? What does justification look like? Well, I like to call justification the yeah buts. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be in this relationship, but they are so good looking. Or yeah, I shouldn't be involved with this person, but I know deep down they're good. Yes, I shouldn't be involved with this type of friend, but you know, it can go on and on and on. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be hanging out with my dad and my mom and the family, but they are family. Right? It's the yeah buts. This is actually what produces you going against your own moral values. It's the justification that keeps you doing that, right? And justification ranges from the absolute ridiculous to ones that are a little bit more complicated. Okay, let me give you some examples. I want to talk to you about some of the more ridiculous justifications that you can experience and you can even attempt in your own life. The ridiculous justifications tend to be on the side of, yeah, I shouldn't be involved with this person, but they're so good looking, right? As if being good looking is reason to continue to be involved with an abusive individual. I want to share a couple stories with you guys on just how ridiculous this can be sometimes. As you know, I talk to you guys on the telephone. I enjoy all of our conversations, and a lot of times they can be very interesting. I spoke with one girl, and this is typical, and she was involved with a very abusive individual. And as I was talking to her, the reasons she was with this person and had a hard time breaking away from it, she couldn't stop talking about the looks. And more specifically about the looks were this person's eyes, this guy's eyes that she was with. She said that when she was with him and looked into his eyes, that they were like the eyes of Jesus. And then she followed that up with saying that his eyes were blue. He had these blue eyes and it was like looking at Jesus. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay? This sits on the side of ridiculous. I was thinking to myself, listen, Jesus was Hebrew, first of all, so I doubt his eyes were blue, but I don't know. Maybe they were. Secondly, someone's eye color and the ways in which they look at you should not be a reason you give yourself over in a relationship over and do things you know you shouldn't be doing. That's not a good reason. That's on the ridiculous side of justification, right? You know you shouldn't be involved with the person, but if you have to resort to, well, the eyes are the reason, then that means that's a bad relationship. If that's what you have to resort to, is the looks. And I'm not just trying to pick on you girls, right? Because guys do the same thing. I talk to guys, oh, Kevin, when they talk to me, this woman, man, she was amazing. She was gorgeous. She was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. This is justification. Why are you involved with an abusive person? Oh, she's so beautiful though. Yeah, she's mean, she's horrible, but it's just beautiful. Thank you. All right? So you got to watch that. And just to let you know, the justification, guys, can sometimes fool you. It oftentimes does. Really, guys, in reality, they're not the most amazing people. They're not the most beautiful people. They're not the most fun people. They're not the most charming people. They're really not. It's the justification playing tricks on you. I'm going to give you another story. There was a girl that I've been working with for a course of a year, and she came out of a very abusive relationship she was involved with, and again, it had a lot to do with the looks. She was constantly telling me, oh, this guy's so handsome, and I can't stop thinking about him. He could have any girl he wants. He's so handsome, this and that. And anyway, she's gotten out of the relationship. It's been a year. I've helped her through that, and she's now moving on. She's gotten into a new relationship that's much better for her. She's much happier. And she said, Kevin, I bumped into the abusive narcissist, and she said, he's aged. And I said, listen, he hasn't aged that much in the course of a year, but what's happened is you are now at a place in your healing where you're further back, you've distanced yourself from the relationship, and you're seeing the truth. You're seeing the reality of what you were dealing with. He's not the most handsome person. He wasn't the most charming person. He's not all that. See, you were justifying your reason for being with him. You were justifying your reason for continuing on to obsess and be a part of a relationship that you've had no business being in. This justification is an attempt to resolve the guilt and the shame. Again, being involved with somebody you have no business being with, doing things you have no business doing, going places you have no business going, produces guilt and shame. Why? Because you're going against your own values. You're going against your own moral conduct. And so naturally, you're going to want to try to resolve that guilt and shame. Justification gives you a reason to try to resolve that guilt and shame, to relieve that pain, that wrestle, that what you're wrestling with. All right? Now, I hope I talked enough about justification. You have to check that. Check your justification, guys. Realize that no, the person you're dealing with is not that charming, not that beautiful, not all that. Your mind is playing tricks on you as you're trying to justify it, okay? All right, guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. We talked about a lot. And guys, if you have any questions, you can contact me. My telephone number is at the end screen of this video. Thanks for watching The Royal We. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video, and I want to thank you once again for joining me here on The Royal We. Now, I want to encourage you guys, if you want to jumpstart your recovery process and really take it to another level, I encourage you to check the link below for the Royal We course. The link is in the description box. Check that out. I know it's going to be a good thing for you. Also, guys, Instagram is available, so click the link in the description box for Instagram and join me there as well. Now, guys, I want to draw your attention to the sides of the screen right over here. You're going to have a video right there that's going to be my last upload prior to this one. So if you missed my last upload, you can catch it right there. Now, right below that video right there is going to be a special recommended video just for you. Either way, you can't go wrong. Thank you once again. I'll see you next time.